Guys, it is finally time to enact our master plan. What do we want?
To kill
David. And what do we want to achieve?
For our freedom.
Get ready, David. You will never see what is coming. Undertale! 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 Undertale Yellow! Excuse me, guys. What color is yellow?
Ah, yes, Undertale. Remember that not-so-popular game from 2015? The game that boomed up indie games' popularity, showing people what indie games could offer. A metaphysical analysis of the reality of an RPG game. In other words, a sort of analysis of what if you just took an RPG and be like, oh, how does this function if you kind of made it more realistic? And just have fun with that entire idea.
Undertale was certainly an experience of the time, and I mean, the soundtrack of this game is gosh darn iconic. Like, everyone practically knows almost everything about this game. It's one of those legendary games that has just had such a huge staple on the internet and the entire way, like, the entire gaming landscape in itself. I mean, indie games have gotten so much more attention since Undertale released. But now that we have, like, Deltarune to look forward to, especially with Chapter 3 being released soon, apparently, and also, like, we also have the 10 years of anniversary. Undertale's 10 years old almost, like, that is insane. I do think that it is time to look around, get ready for, like, Deltarune. Especially now that, like, Deltarune basically does everything that Undertale did, but, like, 10 times better.
But one thing that Undertale did start was a few fan games, and I'm an avid Earthbound fan. I love fan games. However, Earthbound fan games have a tendency to, like, stay in development hell. I mean, just look at Oddity, Mother Russia, Forgiven. I even worked on the last one. My music, I mean, it's out on Chapter 1. Chapter 2 stuff will probably not release for a few years. It'll come out at some point, though. Hopefully.
Now, being an avid Mother fan, or rather an avid Earthbound fan game projects are generally a thing that I like the existence of, but seeing the reputation that fan games have in the Mother community, they generally don't really release. So any hopes I can have for a big Earthbound fan game is generally a bit halved, sort of. So I was kind of shocked to see Undertale Yellow being released.
Undertale Yellow, a game that started development 7 years ago, and it is out. And I mean, just wow, this is a game where it is really clear when they started development and when the story got fleshed out. But oh my, go play it. Like, it's free. However, if you're not good at Undertale or any type of bullet hell game, you're gonna have a rough time. I will not say this lightly. This game is fucking hard. It is definitely one of the tougher games I've ever played.
But I have braved Celeste, conquered Undertale, and beaten Cuphead on hard difficulty. I was prepared for this challenge. I mean, I wasn't, but Shh.
Undertale Yellow's story is actually a prequel. You're the sixth soul to have entered the underground. Why did it replace Game with Game? What? Google Docs? The game starts off exactly as Undertale until one switch doesn't work and now you're in the deeper rooms. This first area isn't anything to write home about, it is just the rooms but with different enemies and a guy known as Delve. Delve is an adorable loner who just doesn't really know how to interact with someone. Plus his boss theme is absolutely banging. The music in this game is a bit of a mixed bag for me. It isn't any bad by any means, but the tracks in themselves is just... I think they're fine. There's a lot of remixes of Undertale tracks, which I'm not a very big fan of. I do think Undertale's soundtrack is so good that you can't really remix it to make it better, in my opinion. It just feels a bit wrong. But like, there are certainly some bangers. I mean, there's some really good bangers. Like, for example, there's a unique theme when you do the genocide runs. When there are 7 enemies left in an area, this theme begins playing, and it's so good. It's actually kind of funny that this track plays when you're doing the genocide run. It's kind of sad because it makes me really want... It makes me wish that there was like more unique battle themes, because the rest of the battle themes in the game, when it comes to normal battles, is just... Oh, this area's version of the Undertale battle theme. It's not really... I mean, it's cool, but I wish that we just got unique battle themes, especially when the battle themes are so good when they're like unique. One thing you can definitely feel is that the composers got more space to their own stuff in the dunes. And my lord, the dunes.
And actually, let me talk about what I think is the peak of this game, being the character writing.
Now, there's a common critique I've seen in this game, being that Clover gets a bit sidelined when Saroba gets introduced into the pacifist run, and I can agree. However, I would say that the same thing happened with Frisk and basically every single character in Undertale. Saroba is by far the best written character in this game. She's so well written. If you take the genocide run or the pacifist, you fight her, and both her fights are amazing. But why do you exactly end up fighting her, and why is she so tough in both of her fights? Well, I think we should go through her backstory, because wow, her backstory is fucked. You see, monsters have a sort of problem with humans locking them up in the underground, which, yeah, fair gripe to have. But Saroba's husband, Shujin, tried to find a way of utilizing a boss monster soul to bypass the gate out of the underground. But Saroba and Shujin got a child, meaning that Shujin is not immortal anymore. Oh, right, yeah, apparently boss monsters are immortal. Just a little tidbit. There's a little bit of an issue with boss monsters where if they get an offspring, they are not immortal anymore, which is also why you can actually kill Asgore, because he's got an offspring in the form of Azrael. After Shujin dies, Saroba vowed to continue his work after seeing some tapes he recorded. After her daughter finds out about the mission that Saroba has set herself out to, she voluntarily wants to be experimented on to make this soul that could break the barrier. However, she then dies. Yes, Saroba basically killed her own daughter, and ever since has been stuck in this path of guilt, basically thinking that she can't morally sink any deeper than she already has.
Was that the bite of 86?
This is what you learn on the pacifist route. However, on the genocide route...
Her theories of how humans behave gets proven correctly, you know, because you, as an ungrateful monster, has been murdering everyone. Thus, she engages you in a fight. And to be fair, this fight wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It's hard, but like I defeated her on my 5th attempt, which is not a lot. The pacifist fight, yeah, that one is brutal. Though, you do get some acting abilities that let you heal during the fight, so it does make it a bit easier. Talking about actually healing and all that, this game's economy is like fucking weird. If you've ever played Undertale, you know how that game handles its economy and progression of healing items. It never felt like you had to grind to get anything specific, or to get the best equipment or best items.
This game isn't as nice.
Playing this game on Pacifist is an absolute devotion to handling your economy. It's also one of the reasons that I think that I had a bit of an easier time with the Genocide run. The economy's kind of screwed, and the items in themselves, like, I think you only have, like, what, 2 items that heal 50 HP, and then the rest heals, like, 15 and stuff, which is, it works fine for Pacifist. However, Genocide, we'll come back to how the final boss is in this game for Genocide. Speaking of characters, I really love this cast of characters. I already gushed about why I like Siroba and how tragic her story is, but we also got Starlo, the sheriff of Doomtown. His story is also quite wholesome, and his entire gang is amazing, and Mooch will forever be the best bomb-making character ever. As for the gameplay, I think it's time to talk about battles. I really like the ideas they have for the battles. All battles are pretty much the same as Undertale, however the bosses are easily the highlight for me. The alpha is pretty much the tutorial of this game, no new gimmick, just a boss fight with some killer music. Then we have Martlet, which is also no gimmick, which, yeah. Then we have El Bayador. I like the idea of this battle, just wish that it wasn't as wonky as it is controlling it. Like, I just wish it had like a normal rhythm game thing to it. However, I did see that in the patch notes, they actually fixed the fight and actually made it a bit easier. So, guess they already took care of that one. Fun story is that I actually play the unpatched version of the game up until the final boss of the Genocide run, where I completely had to go over to the other one because, my god, my fingers were getting killed. Starlo is probably the first actual boss to have a proper gimmick, being that you're stuck to his lasso in the beginning of the fight. It's a fun little gimmick that doesn't overstay its welcome. I do like the idea of him needing to shoot the rope to progress the fight. The Guardian bot has a gimmick of you trying to free yourself before you can actually do something passive against the robot. And then we have Axis. Axis actually gives you a shield, which, yeah, this fight is annoying as hell. I don't know why. It is so annoying. You have to basically hit all the projectiles with your shield, because if you don't do that, you take damage. And of course, we have Siroba, who basically gives Clover his iconic Yellow Soul ability, turning the game into a straight-up shoot-'em-up. One thing is that they added the charge mechanic from Deltarune, and I'm really happy about that. The fun thing is they also added another new little thing to the Yellow Soul, which is the dash, and my god, the dash, it is so good, it is absolutely necessary. This thing becomes a detrimental thing to learn. It is so useful for dodging, especially on the Martlet fight for Genocide. Speaking of the Genocide run, it has its own little pool. You got the first fight against Martlet, which is slightly buff. I hate it. A lot of these attacks feel kind of random. You have Siroba, which I talked about. I do like her gimmick. She reduces your max health. A cool mechanic, especially when it begins using the box to do that, which I kind of knew about, but still very cool mechanic. And then there's Martlet as the final boss. There's also Axis. Axis is fine. It's a little bit of like, you have to just survive the attacks for a few turns. It's not that tough. My god, Martlet.
Scotland forever!
Alright, I'm gonna go off script here, because I didn't write this in when I was doing this. It's actually, I managed to complete this last week. I wrote the script like a few weeks ago, so. Martlet as the final Genocide boss is absolutely goddamn terrible. I hate it so much. Remember the thing I talked about, the healing items? Yeah. If you've played Undertale normally, if you got on up to Sans on the Genocide run, you probably had a lot of high HP recovery items, like the Metaton Stakes, and you also had the pie and stuff like that. For Martlet's fight, you have basically maximum 3 good items, 2 floral cupcakes, and a gunpowder. The rest are freaking useless. Martlet deals around 9 damage to you, which is practically 1/10 of your HP. So every single item that heals 15 and 30 HP is goddamn garbage. You don't need it. Unless you began dodging the attacks very well, which was what happened to me, because I goddamn... I had to dodge these attacks. And they're tough. These attacks are hard because they're hard to read and very spammy, especially the second phase. But let me start with the first phase. The first phase, you basically just have to shoot Martlet a lot, which, yeah, early diagnosis of carpal tunnel, here it comes. Do yourself a favor and get the update where there's auto-fire and just turn it on for this fight. Trust me, you will not regret it. You can charge up some attacks if you want to, but you kind of just need the auto-fire for this section, because it is a long fight. It is a very long fight. The attacks here are actually not that bad once you learn them. I would say the first phase is definitely by far the easiest. There are some attacks that are a bit hard to avoid, especially the one where like these falling items. Never got it. It is so dumb. It is really, really dumb, but it's fine. It is definitely not the worst thing I've ever experienced. The first phase is fine, it's just very long, you have to like really straight through this attack. There are two attacks that are a bit harder, which is like midway, and then I think in the last little portion of health she does another incredibly annoying attack. But like, again, the dash, incredibly useful, you kind of need to master it. It's really needed for a lot of these attacks to be dodged, especially the claw attack. I mean, has anyone understand the claw attack? Like, I've begun understanding it, but it is so hard to time. It's basically, whenever it does the sound, you basically want to dash in the opposite direction. Which makes sense, but like, it's very hard to time, and sometimes it just comes so fast that you just cannot avoid it. I have had issues trying to dodge it. I found some cheap ways of like managing to dodge it several times, but it is still very hard to nail. Second phase. I fucking despise second phase of this fight. It is awful. It is terribly hard and not in the good ways. I think this is where the game took Sans's difficulty and said, oh yeah, what if we took it like 11 times higher? There's a reason people have called this fight tougher than Sans. It is annoying, and you don't have the healing items to go through it. Plus, the second phase kind of gets you off. I knew about the second phase. If I didn't, I would have been fucking dead. Fun fact is, as I said, I was playing this on the original version. They changed a bit with this fight in the new update, where basically you have the Endure act ability, which basically gives you more HP, which is so needed for the second phase. Like, if you've saved a floral cupcake or a gunpowder for the second phase, which was what I tried to keep doing, but I just didn't have the good healing items for the first phase to basically make it that far ahead. But if you've saved those for second phase is fine, honestly. It's easy, it's not bad. But the Endure, oh, is so needed, because my god, second phase's attacks are just stupidly hard. I would say the only attack that's actually fine is some of the shoot 'em up attacks, and then the Meteor. The Meteor is by far the best thing you can get. The Meteor is there to, like, praise the Meteor. I love Meteor attack. It is amazing. But seriously, like, the attacks in this fight are just stupidly hard. I do not like them. They're awful. And my god, carpal tunnel again. Auto-fire is needed. Just saying, it is absolutely needed for these. I do want to say one thing, is that the music is goddamn amazing. Especially for the second phase. I don't know why. The second phase boss theme for me is just way better than the first phase. It just feels a bit more tense, which, yeah, you're going in this final bout with this other really powerful character and all that. But yeah, this fight fucking sucks. I hate it so much, and I'm happy I managed to defeat it. It took me like, what, 5 hours? Which wasn't as long as I was expecting, but still, I was like, wait until 3 AM to beat it, and I'm so happy I did. So yeah, this was a very cool experience to play. It amazes me how a fan game can take this long to develop, like 7 years, and come out so well. Like, everything about this experience was enjoyable, and I mean, except for Genocide. Genocide was not enjoyable, which it shouldn't be, but at least don't make the last final boss freaking impossible. It's fine that you make it really, really unfair. That's what Sans did. It was not impossible with Sans, it was just really unfair. Don't make it impossible. I mean, it wasn't impossible, but it's like hard to a degree where it's like you have to be a Toho player to actually like defeat it. I wish the best luck with the dev team with what they're gonna do next and all that. I think they deserve the praise they're getting, and honestly, like the effort you can see into this game, like with the sprite work and all that, and the music. It's a phenomenal game because it looks so incredibly, and it's played very well. Like I enjoyed my experience with this game, and I can see the critiques of it, but like also.
It is time to engage our master plan.
I'm gonna edit the 1 hour long video that we recorded.
When the time comes, Radical Dude.
Okay.
Hey guys. Game dev clone, do your thing.
Will do, sir.
You got mail.
Huh, what's this? A new Rayman game? Oh.
This will be a time.
My.
It is time to engage phase 2.
Hey, thanks for watching this entire thing. My lord. This was not supposed to be as long as it is, but hey, happy birthday to you, Ban. This was entirely made for you. I know you wanted a Knuckle Sandwich video, but it became Undertale Yellow because that was the thing I had footage for. Knuckle Sandwich will be probably somewhere in the future. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Man, I can't believe all the support my channel has gotten in the last few weeks. I'll probably not upload it as regularly as I did for the last month, mainly because, well, my videos take a lot of time for me to do. As you can see, there's a lot of effort putting into like all the small details. I like having small jokes and stuff like that. So my next video will probably come out during Valentine's Day. Who knows? I'll try to put like set release dates for these videos, but I won't try to rush myself. Which is funny because I'm rushing myself right now, but that mainly comes from the fact that I kind of screwed up a bit with my release date stuff. It should have come out. It'll come out Sunday for you guys, but I actually finished this Friday. So, but like, thanks for watching so much. I really appreciate all the support, and you guys are super nice. So, yes, I don't know. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.